All right, Shalom. First thing first, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. And salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth and all sincerity and diligence, risking your lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. It's your brother Kagabar. All right, we'll be doing a lesson entitled Through Faith. All right, our sacrifices are imputed unto us as righteousness. All right, and we're going to be rewarded because of that, man. All right, through faith, our sacrifices, all right, are imputed to us as righteousness, and we're going to be rewarded because of that. All right, and that's why, in the opener, all right, I give salutations, to the brothers risking their lives and freedoms, to push this truth, man. Because this truth is a sacrifice, okay? Being a part of this truth, all right, is a sacrifice, okay? That's why Peter had asked the Lord, we are forsaking all of these things, careers, wives, houses, brothers, sisters, etc. What are we going to receive because of that? And the Lord could have been like, hey, you ain't gonna receive nothing. You just have to do the work, but we are going to be greatly rewarded for this sacrifice, man, because we've forsaken Babylon. We've pretty much turned our back on the world. And, though we have to use the world, okay, we don't abuse it. Okay. And we have to deny our flesh, man. Okay. And because of those sacrifices, all right, that's going to be imputed unto us as righteousness, man, because faith, all right, to show you have faith, you also have to have works. All right. And our works is ultimately us making our bodies, a living sacrifice. Let's start there. This is Romans 12:1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, man. So this is our reasonable service anyways. OK, really, we'd have to do it regardless, the Most High waking us up to this truth. OK, but the Most High is not unrighteous to where he's going to neglect our works. OK, we're going to be rewarded greatly because of our sacrifices, man. OK, it says, I beseech you, brethren, therefore, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, man. So we've been called, all right, as the elect, OK, to make our bodies a living sacrifice. OK, we don't, we've done away. The Lord has done away with animal sacrifice, man. So, in regard to this third temple, that's the spiritual third temple being built before you. OK, we are the sacrifice. OK, our bodies are the living sacrifice, man. And we've been tasked with, doing the work. And because of that, hey, it's going to be imputed to us as righteousness, man. It's like a bank account. You storing your money, all right, or you're storing all of your wealth into a bank account, all right, and you just keep adding to that bank account. Well, that's how it is when we do things that are pleasing to the Lord, man. Okay, through our faith, okay, we go out to the highways and hedges. Okay, through our faith, we put these lessons out. All right, through our faith, we abstain from eating pork, seafood, doing things that we want to do that we used to do in the world. All right, smoking weed, getting tatted up. All right, we through our faith, we do these things, man, because we haven't seen, Yahweh Shah yet, man. This is all off of faith. So because of that, the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Shah, imputes these things as as righteousness, man, and there's a great reward. Okay. All right. This is Romans 4:20. It says, he staggered not at the promise of the Most High through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to the Most High. All right. And, when you deal with Abraham, okay, the Lord ultimately tempted him. All right, if you will. He tried his faith with Isaac. He was going to have him to sacrifice Isaac. OK, which it was all through the spirit that it was never going to fully go through. OK, but, the Lord had to test his faith, man. And when Abraham showed that he was willing to sacrifice his son, Guess what? The Lord imputed that unto him for righteousness, man, because through his faith, he was going to do what he had to do. Okay. He was gonna, sacrifice his son, man. All right. He was going to perform that work. But it says he staggered not at the promise of the Most High through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to the Most High, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was able also to perform. And therefore it was imputed to him for righteousness, man. So it was like a charge to his bank account. It was a charge to his spiritual bank account, man. He was rewarded because of that. And, we're about to cash out. The cash out starts on this side when you go into Isaiah, 13 and 12, Isaiah 32 and 2, Isaiah 4 and 1, and the Lord speaks of us being then shall be known who are my chosen, man, because the Lord, all of our works are gonna speak for us in these times, man. Okay, and especially in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, this is why doing the work it's an honorable thing, man. It's our reasonable service. We'd have to do it anyways because the Lord has called us into this, but the Lord is going to greatly reward us, okay, for making our body a sacrifice, man, and ultimately, being a prisoner of hope, But the point I wanted to grab is that faith, all right, was imputed to him for righteousness. Okay, now let's grab this. Okay, let's grab that in a moment. This is James 2 and 17. It says, even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. All right. So in order to show you have faith, all right, which, the Lord, that's how you please the Lord is through faith. All right. That's what, wherein that righteousness is imputed unto us. Well, to show you have faith, you must have works, man. And this is wherein the sacrifices we make come into place. Okay. Because we believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah and the promises and the judgments that's coming for not, doing what he's called us to do as Israelites. Then, hey, we're going to do what we got to do. Okay. Go out to the highways and hedges, feed the sheep. Okay. He told Peter asked him 3 times, man. He told Peter 3 times, if you love me, feed my sheep. Okay. He said, do you love me, Peter? And he said it 3 times, man. If you love me, feed my sheep. Okay. Which 3 goes into understanding. Meaning that's when, hey, it should click. That's the Lord is trying to get something through, So we have to do the work, put these lessons out. All right. Wake up the sheep, wake up the elect and that they may be sealed so we can get the hell up out of here, man, and reap, our reward. See, matter of fact, let's grab this now. Hebrews 6 and 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. See, which ye have showed toward his name. Okay, it's all about glorifying the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. It says, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister, man. See, doing the work. And in doing the work, the Lord is not unrighteous to forget your works, man. Our works are going to follow us, as scriptures say. Okay, our works are going to follow us, man. So, you got to think of it as a spiritual bank account. And when we sacrifice ourselves, the Lord sees that, man. And he sees everything that we do. All right. And he sees it. OK, he sees those things. And that's how we, add to our spiritual bank account that's going to follow us, man. All right. In the kingdom. OK, but yeah, man, the Lord ain't going to forget nothing we've done. We just have to continue. Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Let me grab this here. 2 Timothy 4 and 7, it says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing, man. And that's that goal, is to receive that crown. Because it ain't just gonna be a crown, it's what comes with the crown, man. Dominion, rulership, all right, power, authority, that's what comes with it. Okay, but we're gonna receive that physical crown from the Lord's hands, man. See? So this is why it's imperative to make our bodies a sacrifice, so that way we can receive that reward, man. And the point of this lesson is that Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah, nothing goes forgotten, man. Okay? He understands that, there's what scripture say, Abraham, or let me grab this, or Moses didn't enjoy the pleasures of sin for a moment. Right? Because, it would have been nothing for us to, choose to continue being a worldly nigga, all right, instead of being a prisoner of hope, which is all through Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah anyways. But, we'd rather make these sacrifices than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a moment. Because there's a lot of things that are enticing and pleasing to the flesh, but they don't account for anything, man. It's all vanity. You see, Hebrews 11:24 says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. See, that's the same mindset we're coming in, man. All right. Because all of those sacrifices you make, all right, all of those sacrifices we make, it shows our faith in Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah. If we didn't believe, we wouldn't do it. Okay, which is also like we understand it's through the spirit. But if you didn't believe, you wouldn't continue on, man. But because you believe, all right, you make those sacrifices, and you'd rather suffer the affliction than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Say, fuck it. Well, I'm going to just go back into the world, go back to being a nigga, No, man. Because these things are imputed unto us as righteousness, man. We're adding to our spiritual bank account. Okay, this is work. This is our reasonable service, but it is work. Okay, we're doing the work, man. That's what we always say, man. You got to do the work. Okay, you get paid for doing a job, man. You get paid. Scripture speak of us as laborers. We're all laboring for a penny. But which is the ultimate, that token onto the chariot in salvation, man. And the endless gifts that come with that, the immortality, the rulership, like I said, the dominion, a righteous kingdom, where you can enjoy your women, your children, peace amongst, the Israelites, When you read Isaiah the 60th chapter, man, hey, that's what we're fighting for. And, this is doing the work, so we're going to be rewarded. You get paid for doing a job, man. Okay? The Lord said we're going to be joint heirs, man. Okay? But yeah, verse 26, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. And Egypt was bustling at that time, man. That was the top kingdom at that time. So it's kind of like, being in America, fucking, during like what, before like the 70s, when the dollar was backed by gold, hey, during this climax, man, it says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward, man. So he wanted the reward, and that was all, all of his sacrifices was through faith. Verse 26 in the NLT, it says, he thought it was better to suffer for the sake of Hamashiach than to own the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking ahead to his great reward, man. And that's the mindset we have to come in. All right. We have to come in that same mindset, man. You got to look ahead to the treasures, to the reward that's coming for us doing this. We're about to come into a different glory, man. This part of the ministry is about to come to a close, and you're going to hope that your works followed you, man. You're going to want to hope that you did the best you could do. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That, you didn't get weary, man. That you kept going, because Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah is not unrighteous to forget, See, and you know, if we could imagine, picture how great the kingdom is about to be and what we're about to receive, you would look back and be like, well, this is a light thing, man. Matter of fact, it's a scripture that's coming to mind, and I'm gonna end it off. Give me one moment. Let's see if this is it. Our light affliction endured for a moment. Yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 4:17. It says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, meaning this shit's coming to an end, man. You know, we're pretty much about done, man. The Lord, you know, has pretty much sealed up his elect, you know, and he's about to bring hell on this place, man. It says, which is but for a moment worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. All right. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, the things which are not seen are eternal, man. But this is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, man, doing the work. So, you know, Lord's willing, that was edifying. I'm going to end it off there. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Kakadash, DTLY, Baba Ball, Shalom.